Welcome to the real Ramblers movie talk for fanatics. The real Ramblers movie talk for fanatics. And now your hosts, Bill and Lee Howard.
Hello, welcome back to the Real Ramblers. I'm Bill. This is Lee.
Me, I'm Lee. Hi.
We are brothers. We love movies. Let's talk. Today,
Hello, Seattle. Fucking Frasier.
I was gonna do his brother, but I'm not good at impersonations, so I'll do.
I want to hear it anyway. It would just be like, I like wine. That's Niles. It's perfect. Don't look it up.
All my impersonations will be Jimmy Stewart. That's the whole impersonation.
Yeah,
by the way.
I'm Niles.
Oh, welcome to Comedy Central. Today we're going to talk about bad movies that we love.
Mm-hmm. I think this also ties in a little bit with nostalgia too.
It does. So this is a strange category because a bad movie is subjective. Right?
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
So I'm sure that we're going to mention movies that we consider bad.
Yeah.
That somebody out there will be like, hey!
That should have won an Oscar.
I love that movie.
I, as your sole listener, disagree.
Ouch. Whoever that is, we love you.
Jay's like, that's me.
So, for me, first movie that ever pops in my head, and I think it can be considered a bad movie because it's one of the biggest bombs in movie history, and that's Ishtar.
Right.
With Warren Beatty, Dustin Hoffman. I love Ishtar.
I've still not seen that.
Really?
Well, the reviews.
No, it's really good. It's basically about two wannabe Simon and Garfunkel songwriter-singers who are Warren Beatty and Dustin Hoffman, but they're terrible.
Okay.
They can't write good songs. They're terrible.
I know people like that.
So they book
Not you.
a gig in Ishtar in the Middle East. And they're playing, and they get mixed up in some international plot with terrorists and all this stuff, and it becomes crazy later. But all the stuff in it is funny because they're both playing the dumb card.
Okay.
The whole thing, like they're both acting like Nick Cage and Raising Arizona, like they're playing idiots. But the songs, I believe, I'm going to be wrong. Somebody's going to correct me on that.
Yeah, there's a real Ishtar head out there that's like, yo, this movie.
I'm going to have to look this up. I want to say it's Paul Williams.
Oh, really?
That wrote some of the songs. Damn it. I could be wrong. But anyway, the songs that they write are hilarious. And there's scenes of them sitting together brainstorming songs. One of their songs is called Hot Fudge Love.
Okay.
And when they're writing it, literally I believe I read that it was it was improv.
Oh, cool.
So they're sitting there and like Warren Beatty's playing the piano and going, Hot Fudge Love. And then Dustin Hoffman's like, Cherry Ripple Kisses. and then Warren Beatty goes, Mrs. And then he goes, lip smacking, back slapping, perfectly delicious.
Oh my God. It's like a shitty jingle.
That's exactly what it was supposed to sound like. And it is like every time I watch it, tears streaming down my face. It is so funny. And like I said, it's widely regarded as one of the biggest.
Yeah, I remember even I was young. Like, when did that come out? That was like mid 80s, late 80s, maybe?
I want to say 86, 87 could have been a little earlier.
So I was like pretty young, but I still remember people talking about this fucking movie is terrible. Yeah.
And it was a big budget too, because I think they filmed like on location.
Oh, wow. Okay. So then it's like big name actors too. So
huge.
That's probably why people were like, what is this bullshit?
Damn, it's a funny movie.
Huh.
It's funny.
Maybe one day
seeing them play dumb is so funny.
That's crazy.
And they're great together. Their chemistry is excellent.
Sorry, who was it again? Warren Beatty and
Dustin Hoffman.
Right. Crazy.
But anyway, so that we'll kick it off with Ishtar, because that was a pretty big one. Did you have like a first one that came to mind when you thought of bad movies?
Yeah, it's not a comedy, and
it doesn't have to be. Lee.
No, okay.
It's fine.
Thank God,
it doesn't
I was
have to be. There's not rules.
Pooping my pants clean off of my body because I thought it had to be comedy. The first one that always comes to mind, and it's like, I'll get into why it is a bad movie and stuff. And I know things are subjective and stuff.
Yeah.
But I can't help but kind of like it. Is the second Crow movie, The Crow City of Angels.
Right. I could have guessed, I guess.
Yeah, it's not great. But it's one of these things. There's a really awesome
Vincent Perez.
Vincent Perez. He was great. I'll say the things that I like about it first. The look of the movie is super, super cool. It's very like colorful
Was it a
and
known
smoky. Tim Pope. He was like a video director. I think he did some like pretty big videos in the 90s.
Okay.
The look of the movie is like so cool. And it does have good, like Iggy Pop is awesome in it. Vincent Perez is awesome in it.
Right.
Thomas Jane, like one of his first roles,
Oh, really?
is in it. Yeah. And there's a really good YouTube series called Good Bad Flicks.
Yeah.
That kind of do like a deep dive
What
on
we're talking about right now.
Exactly. So I'm just going to kind of
So we're stealing from them. Good.
Yep. We are going to get sued. And
Go for
because
it.
that's our one listener is the Good Bad Flicks
Yeah.
guy. He's like, you fuck.
Sons of...
But originally, like the script was like way different and way darker because it's a father and son that witness a murder and they get killed and the dude comes back that night and there was so much more to it. Yeah, it had like a sad ending and stuff too. Like he was never reunited like with his dead son. He just had to like live in the shadows and like never die,
Right.
and stuff. But then there's this shitty producer. I don't know if you ever heard of him, Harvey Weinstein.
Heard of him?
Yes, I think he's done some things, reprehensible, horrible things.
But let's clarify. Shitty person, not necessarily shitty producer.
I don't know because there's a lot of cases.
He's responsible for
he's produced some great movies too, but it's hard to be like, but at least he did this. It's like, sure, there was a million rapes, but he did make it. You know what I mean?
No, but it's two different things. I'm saying he's a completely horrendous, shitty person.
Oh yeah.
But he's responsible for producing some great films.
I mean, I guess so, but he also like really like screwed over some films, like The Crow City of Angels, because they turned in like a cut, and he was like, "No, make it like the first movie," and he made them because it was like an over 2 hour cut of the movie, and he's like, cut 1 hour out of this movie, reshoot this stuff, and make it just like the first movie.
Right.
And they were all like, "God damn it!"
We could do a whole episode on movies that were
taken away from like directors
that
and
were
stuff.
screwed over by studio heads.
And the director like had no say over the edit even.
Right.
So he's kind of dismissed himself from it. So
David Fincher, Alien 3.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not a great movie, but the soundtrack is awesome. The score is awesome. Some good performances. And like I said, the look of the movie is so different and just visually cool that I can't.
I think I only saw it once when it was first released. I don't think I've seen it
Yeah.
since.
It's just, it's not great, but I still love it. And I still kind of stand by it.
That's
good. My first one.
A lot of the other ones are ones that, again, I don't know if they're bad movies. Although, you know what? Instead of single movies, there was a couple things that I made notes of that are like, they're not bad movies, they're entire bad bodies of work.
Okay.
That I love.
Okay.
And I think the best example is Chuck Norris. I adore Chuck Norris movies.
Right.
They're all bad.
Right. Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. All bad. But I love them.
Jay's shaking his head.
Missing in action.
He's like, don't you dare say a bad word about
missing
Braddock.
action. Okay, so there's some that could be considered well done. But for the most part.
Like, he's cheesy himself.
Totally.
Yeah. Like, in a great way, though.
And yet, if you watch some of his late 70s stuff, I'm not saying he was great in them, but he did a pretty good job. Like, he had some he had love scenes, and he was but,
you a ginger.
But I love all, like, Good Guys Were Black, Forced Vengeance, The Octagon, Lone Wolf McQuade, all the Missing in Actions. I love his movies. They're so fun. And again, a big part of that is nostalgia kicking in.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much his entire catalog's bad, but I love them all.
Do you remember that he had a cartoon?
Yes.
Like the Chuck Norris something Commandos.
Karate Commandos?
Yeah, Karate Commandos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times.
Amazing. Yeah.
Good times.
Chuck, and it's funny that it's just like in the cartoon, he's Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
Hollywood actor.
Yeah.
Not just like, oh, he's playing Braddock from Missing in Action.
Yeah.
It's just like,
but I love
thanks
his
for
movies.
saving the day. He's like, no problem. I
fun.
gotta do a audition at 3.
Yeah. It's same with the mid-'80s ninja movies, all the Sho Kosugi stuff.
Oh my God, yeah.
They're bad.
Sure.
But so good.
Yeah.
They're so good.
Yeah, there
Enter
is-
the Ninja and Revenge of the Ninja are great. Enter the Ninja, last time we watched it years ago, we were laughing our asses off
Yeah,
at the
'cause they're
dialogue.
fun, 'cause they're
The
so
dialogue's
shitty.
horrible.
Yeah.
But super fun.
Yeah.
Like, I love them. Like, the third one is maybe the most ridiculous movie ever made.
Domination.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
really, a girl because it gets possessed
Oh, right.
by a ninja through a video game.
That's right. Yep.
And becomes
Yep.
a ninja. It's ridiculous.
I think
and so
there's
awesome.
that How Did This Get Made podcast, which is like my favorite.
Yeah. You
and
got to
they-
stop advertising other podcasts.
But they'll listen and be like, let's be friends with them.
they're our competition now.
No, they are our friends. Together we are strong. They did Ninja 3 The Domination, and it was amazing.
Apes together, strong. And I guess the other one that could be in terms of body of work, except for the first movie, could be the Rambo movies. First
I just
Blood.
rewatched First Blood
First
like
Blood's
last
a
week.
masterpiece.
It's so good.
Like a masterpiece.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. But as soon as Rambo First Blood Part 2 hits,
It's just like 80s schlock.
over the top cheese, and people blasted Rambo 3 even more, and I love Rambo 3.
I haven't seen
And
it in
people
a long
continue
time.
to blast them through 4 and 5, and I loved all of those.
Right.
I thought they were all great. The one that took place in Myanmar or whatever, and then the last one that took place in Mexico.
Yeah.
where you
I
had
was
to cross
so
the-
on that one.
on repeat.
And then the one before.
Did you watch the unrated though? Because the unrated's even better.
don't remember.
But I loved it. The only thing that bugged me about the last one was that in the trailers there was shots of him on a horse with a cowboy hat in the rain, and I was like, "That's a Rambo I've never seen," and I love it. And it wasn't in the movie.
Crazy.
I'm like,
And Chuck
come on.
Norris played the horse, which was like, holy
Yeah,
shit.
that is karate horse.
Yeah, karate horse. Yeah, Chuck Norris karate horse.
So those are some where it's like entire bodies of work can definitely be considered bad, and I love them.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to movies themselves.
Yeah.
me another.
Okay, so it's funny. I wrote Teen Wolf 2. TOO. But it's like the first one, I guess, it's hard because it's an 80s comedy.
Yeah.
Is it like a bad movie? I mean, it's
I love
it's what
Teen
it
Wolf
is.
1.
Yeah,
It's
Teen Wolf
super great,
2
super fun.
is exactly the same.
It's practically the
beat
same
for
script.
beat. The same, yeah. Like literally down like in the first one, they're like, what do you do? He's like trying to buy a case of beer. And he's like, give me a keg of beer. And they're like, that was good. Do that in part 2. He's like, I want to change my classes. That's a werewolf voice, P.S. That sound exactly like that. And like, yeah, like beat
I
for
thought it was a
beat.
Chuck Norris impersonation.
Yeah. Let's get together,
Don't do it.
karate commandos.
Just go back to talking about Teen Wolf.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. It's so ridiculous, and it sucks that like literally the only returning guy is the dude that played the character Chubby. So it was 80s. So it's like, what are we going to name this guy who's overweight? Has to be Chubby. We can't just call him Frank or by his name. We need the audience to know. But it's like literally everybody else. Like, what else would like the dude that played the coach or the dude that played like Styles? Like, what
Right.
else are you doing?
Yeah.
Nothing. But they're like, I'm not fucking coming back for part 2.
So are you saying that Teen Wolf 2 you like?
I do. I like it. It's kind of like a comfort thing.
Okay.
It's like even while I'm watching it, I'm like, this is so stupid. But it's like still like.
But they're so similar. Why wouldn't you just be like, if I need a comfort thing, why don't I just watch Teen Wolf?
well, if I got to follow it up. Like I watched part 1, and then I'm like, what's his cousin up to again? Oh, right, the exact same fucking thing, but boxing.
I think, I don't know, they should have made a Teen Wolf 3 and
I
put Chuck Norris in.
just as himself.
Yeah.
A hairy man. Supposedly they were always had plans to make a part 3, but with like Alyssa Milano as a werewolf or
really?
whatever. Yeah.
Interesting and terrible.
Yeah. So I guess they were like, nah, hard pass. So yeah, I don't know. It sucks, but
Maybe they should have. It could have been another Karate Kid 4.
oh my God, that's right. The next Teen Wolf, they could have called it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Classic.
Okay.
So thanks for listening. No, yeah, there's more. We got more.
Another one I always jump to is Three Amigos.
Oh, is that bad? That's
Pretty
not,
much
who calls
bombed.
that bad?
I think a lot of people think
Oh
it's
my
bad.
God,
I think
really?
a lot of people look at it like an Ishtar.
I think it's underrated.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. It had such a, again, like you've mentioned before, it had a real self-aware sense of humor that was so funny. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
all
It's
three
so
of them,
bizarre.
like, come on, their chemistry
Oh yeah,
is
yeah,
insane.
yeah.
I still cry at him giving the bird signal to them to go over
Oh,
the
yeah.
wall.
Look up here.
Look up here.
Yeah.
Look up here.
Everything about I watched because I found it on VHS at Value Village.
Yeah.
Which was great, and I watched it on my TV VCR combo.
And the musical break in them.
Oh, yeah.
Blue shadows on the trailer.
Oh yeah, and they're like, "Oh, or my little buttercup."
Amazing.
Yeah, super funny. I
It's a sweater.
yeah, El Guapo. Oh my God, the whole thing it's super funny.
Yeah,
it's crazy
it's
they
great.
never made a sequel.
Yeah.
But I guess if it bombed, then they were
Yeah,
like,
I think
we're
it
not
did? I
Why are
don't
we
know. I'd have to look
putting
it
more
up, but
money
I'm
into
pretty
it?
sure it bombed.
Could have been 4 Amigos.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say
Danny
Chuck Norris.
DeVito.
Chuck Norris. This podcast brought to you by Chuck Norris's beard cream.
I use it. Look at this.
It's great.
Yeah. I love Three Amigos, though.
Okay, now this is I got a couple other, like I wrote like Once Bitten, but it's like that was like an 80.
Yeah,
It's not.
Jim
It's also
Carrey.
not good. Yeah, Jim Carrey.
I will agree that it's not good.
It's not good, but I like
did
it.
like it back
Nostalgia.
then. I don't know if it holds up.
I rewatched it.
I rewatched
on
it a couple years ago and I
something a couple years ago, and it's like it's not great. And it's funny because he was on in Living Color first, of course, and
Yeah.
then because we used to love that show, and me and our stepbrother Sean, we would watch it. And when Once Bitten came out, we were just like, we didn't know his name. We were just like, oh, sorry, it was the other way. When he went on in Living Color, we were like, it's Once Bitten guy.
Oh, right.
Because we didn't know his name.
Right.
But yeah, it sucks. It's so like there's a Mad Libs script, and you just
Did he
put
do
in
Earth Girls before Living Color too?
that was.
Or was it after? Was
I
it
think
after?
after or during. But I mean, there's like a classic like high school like dance scene for no reason that's
Right.
just like, oh, it's all choreographed. Like they just know the moves. And the song
I love
is
that.
describing like what's happening in the dance because it's like the vampire woman and his actual girlfriend are fighting over him, and they're all
Yeah.
like pulling each other's arms and they're doing the same
Oh,
thing. And
my.
the song is like, hands off, he belongs to me, hands off. It's like it's kind of like I love when movies do that, and like Rocky IV, which I fucking love.
yeah.
Like the soundtrack is so funny, and that it's like it's East versus West, USA versus Russia. You got a boxer over here and a boxer over there, and now they're fighting in the ring with
Just a
boxing.
disclaimer. I don't think those are the lyrics.
You better Google it. One is tall and blonde, the other is Stallone.
My God.
Fucking we love America, Russia can suck it. Anyway,
Until next time,
I love
folks.
when movies do that. So yeah, Once Bitten is another one. It's terrible, but like I loved it as a kid, and also I loved monsters and stuff like that. So hey, vampires, totally great. But it's not great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily hold up. If you were to show it to somebody now who had like never seen it, and it's like, hey, watch this comedy, they'd be like, oh, nah, hard pass.
Well, when I was researching bad movies we love, I kept coming up to that wall of, is it a bad movie?
Yeah.
Because stuff like, okay, one that is absolutely a bad movie and I love is Raw Deal with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
God.
It's really bad. Like, he's a small town sheriff
of course, with the thickest
named Mark
Austrian.
Kaminsky.
I love when they give Arnold like total names that like he's like the
All-American.
most Austrian guy in the world, and
Yeah,
they're like, well, that's Peter Jones. I'm Peter.
And there's a great, he's married at the beginning and she's mad at him and she's drunk and she throws a cake at him and he goes, you should not drink and bake. And I'm like,
Oh my god.
but he's a guy who goes undercover to infiltrate the mob. So the Italian mob.
Oh my-
And he's like
It blends in?
pretending that he's like, I've been in the Italian mob before. It's so it's
They're like,
terrible.
his story
But
checks.
It is great. It's got a really good kind of techno score, and it's got a scene in it where he pops a cassette in his car to the Stones' Satisfaction.
Okay.
And mows down guys in a construction yard.
Oh my god, that's
to that.
right.
It's
I remember
really
that.
good. It's
Yeah.
really
what
good.
better way to
And he
like?
wears suits in it, which was a big thing because Arnold wasn't like that.
yeah.
You know, but he was all like dapper man through the whole thing
Yeah, slick
until the
back
end.
hair.
Until the end, where he wears like an undershirt.
Yeah, and they're like,
a
show
leather
us your
jacket.
tits. That's what we know you for. Yo, Arnold Schwarzenegger, you're not here.
I will never deny that it's like one of his worst movies. It's horrible, but I absolutely love it.
That kind of, I didn't write it down, but it kind of also, and I almost hate to say it, I like watching Because It's Bad Jingle All the Way at Christmas time. Like it's in our Christmas rotation.
I'll agree
And
with that
it's-
one. I enjoy that
It's
one.
so funny.
It's really dumb, but
It's
it is
really
funny.
dumb. And it's crazy that the whole thing takes place in one day.
Mm.
Because so much, it's like a never ending day. It's some weird parallel universe where one day is
72
78 hours
hours. Yeah.
and there's no nighttime. Like
Yeah.
it's everything like I have to go to work and I'll meet you at the fucking what do you call it? The parade at 2:00. And it's like, and she's like, okay, well, you better hurry up. And like a Christmas parade on Christmas Eve at 2 p.m. And it's like, you got to go to the mall and get the ball and get the Turbo Man. And they don't have it over there, so I'll go and follow Jim Belushi over here, and have a big fight in the warehouse and beat all these guys.
Was he?
Yeah, Jim Belushi was like a shitty mall Santa.
Really?
And he's like, you could give me the Turbo Man.
There was a Red Heat reunion?
Yes.
I did not know that.
And it's like he had like a shitty knockoff Turbo Man, and it spoke like Spanish or something.
Right.
And it's like, can't have that. And then it's like, he goes to the fucking, and meanwhile, like Phil Hartman is totally trying to bang Arnold's wife the whole movie. He's like the rapiest weirdo in the whole movie. And for some reason, also, all the other women in the town are totally like thirsty as fuck over Phil Hartman. They're like, oh, did you bake me some brownies? And they're like, mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm going to have to watch this again.
And then, of course, like all the shit at the end where it's like he puts on the Turbo Man suit.
Yeah.
And it's like, and they're just like, who's that? And it's like, Jamie! He points at his kid, and they're just like, oh, that's amazing. This actor that we don't know. And it's like, he's like a 9-foot brick fucking wall of a human being with a thick German accent.
Hurts.
And until he takes the mask off, they're like, oh my God, that's my dad! Like, I didn't know that.
There's so many people with Austrian accents.
Jamie, I choose you!
It could have been anybody.
And P.S. Sinbad is like a straight up terrorist in the movie. He like tries to blow up a radio station. Like murder, straight up murder. And I also guarantee they just let him improvise half his lines because like terrible. But
my head hurts
it's so bad, but it's so fun. Yeah, but put it on your list this Christmas and get the family gathered around and everyone make sure to bring some alcohol. It's the only way.
Okay, I'm rewatching that very soon. Whew.
What else you had?
Well, another notorious one that I love, Hudson Hawk.
That's on my list.
Nice.
Yep.
I remember when it came out, people could not stop talking about how bad it was.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's it is a weird movie.
It's super weird.
Yeah.
Like weird characters behaving weirdly.
Yeah.
Yeah. David Caruso's weird in it.
Super weird.
Sarah Bernhardt.
Oh, Sandra Bernhardt?
Sandra. Yeah. She's scary weird in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the chemistry between Bruce Willis and Danny Aiello.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's great.
Legendary. It
is
really
just
good.
Such weird choices in the movie. Like we're bank robbers, but instead of using like a timer, hey, let's sing a song.
Yeah.
And like,
but it works. Like, because that's the best part of the movies are the heists.
Oh,
those and the henchmen named after candy bars.
Oh yeah, Kit Kat.
That's pretty great.
That was like the first time I saw David Caruso in something.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was great.
It's a
and Andrew
weird
Baranski, the Texas
Leatherface.
Chainsaw guy.
Yeah.
He was good in it too.
And he was in Batman Returns. He was Walken's son.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Doing a kind of a bad Walken. Dad, we got to go down and bring joy to the masses. It was just a weirdo movie. Like we want this machine
all the
from Michelangelo or Da Vinci that turns lead into gold. And
it was really weird.
We're gonna topple. And what's his name? Richard E. Grant was in it. And
super weird movie, but I love it.
Yeah,
it's a great movie. Another one that may be my favorite on the list is and strange for Tom Hanks doesn't have a lot of duds.
Oh, I know you're
but Joe versus the Volcano, which again, super weird movie. Like surreal.
I'm not certain I've actually seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's so you would actually love it.
Huh.
But again, it almost feels like it takes place in an Elseworld. Nothing in it feels like the real world at all.
Huh.
But some brilliant Tom Hanks stuff in it. Some brilliant musical moments.
Is that the one where the volcano was played by Chuck Norris? Get the fuck out of here.
Meg Ryan plays two different love interests in it.
Oh, weird.
Two different women
who
are sisters.
Yeah. Okay.
But they're completely opposite. She's fantastic in it. Abe Vigoda plays the head of the natives on the volcano island who all love orange soda. There's so many things about it that are like bizarre.
So weird.
But it's brilliant.
I like movies like that sometimes where shit is just so weird
that
you're like, somehow this works. Like, I don't know why, but it's just so far beyond like bad that it's weird, and then you have an appreciation for it.
Joe is definitely like that. It's a great movie.
I'll have to give that a rewatch sometime. What else? Now, it's funny because this you're going to be like, it's not a bad movie, and it's a movie I love, and I've grown to love it more over time. And it's not necessarily, it's just a weird Halloween 3. I love it.
It's not a bad movie at all.
It's crazy though. Like it is a crazy movie.
It's a crazy
movie. I love
movie.
the story.
Yeah.
It's just that it's so bonkers and stuff
I love it too.
You know what I mean? Like Tom
really...
Atkins is he's a doctor.
Yeah.
Who also all the women in the town super thirsty for some reason. It's like,
but he is Tom Atkins.
Well, look at that mustache.
Yeah.
He uses Chuck Norris beard cream on it.
He always plays a ladies' man.
Yeah, which is hilarious because he's the most like average looking dude.
Yeah.
You know, not to like discredit Tom Atkins. Like he's
Tom Atkins fans he's not coming after you.
He's our one listener. But it's like he decides like I'm going to go investigate this crime. It's like you are not a police officer.
Yeah.
And then the woman. Her father,
American Werewolf in London, the doctor goes to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, that was like one thing though. This guy is like taking the daughter of the guy that was murdered the next day, also banging her in a hotel. And he's like, "Do you want me to sleep in another?" Or she's like, "You want me to sleep in another room?" And she's like, "Well, where do you want to sleep?" And he's like, "It's a pretty stupid question." And it's like your dad died like hours earlier.
The politically incorrect days.
Oh my god, yeah, it's like laughable. But yeah, it's just funny that he's doing all this investigating and it's like it's so ridiculous.
It is,
but I also love it because it's so crazy and it's not like anything else.
Yeah,
and it's like super gory and like
super gory.
The bad guy is like, I just want to kill a bunch of kids, and that's a pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's like his only motivation.
Yeah, literally, that's it. Yeah. So, but it's so iconic too. Like I'm so obsessed now with like collecting things with the silver shamrock. It's my silver shamrock sweater.
Yeah.
And like I bought all the masks and I bought like the Mezco toys. Like I have so much Halloween 3 stuff just because it's so. Those will be my next tattoos. It's just so iconic, and I've become like obsessed with Halloween 3.
I love that movie.
And I know it's goofy, but it's great also.
Nice
at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. There's plenty of others we could cover.
I got one really fast one, and I won't go into it. And it's a terrible movie, and I hate myself for enjoying it because it's not even good. And I'm so sorry, and I wish I could stop talking, but I've already started talking. Are you familiar with an Oscar-worthy movie called, I can't even say it, Hubie Halloween? It's an Adam Sandler movie. It's terrible, but it's very Halloween.
Thank you for joining us on our very last episode.
Yeah, because Lee killed himself after. Yeah, it sucks.
No, because I'm walking away.
It's not good, and I know it's not good. And the parts that are like stupid are like, come on.
I guess I should be happy you didn't say Waterboy or the Devil one.
No, I hate that one. That Little Nicky, I don't like it at all. I just like how Halloweeny that one feels, and that's the only reason why I'll really watch it.
That's the only thing I'll give it, is that it is better than Little Nicky and Waterboy.
Yeah, and it's just Halloweeny, and I like watching Halloweeny stuff to get me in the mood. It's not a good movie. It's really stupid.
I like Waterboy.
Oh my God. Well, let me just put the word out that we are looking for a new producer.
And, what did we always say? It just didn't work for me, but I'm glad it worked for you.
That's right.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to throw a couple of quick fire ones out before we finish up.
Yeah.
High School High, John Lovitz.
Oh shit, that's a great one. It's so funny.
I love
Spoofs. You know me, I love spoofs.
I love it.
Yeah.
I tried to show it to Joanne and Evie, my wife and daughter, and they were just
like, I'm not having it.
Joanne literally got up and left. She was, and she doesn't do that, but she's just like, this is the dumbest movie I've ever seen. And for some reason, I just cry through the whole thing because it's like, I don't know, like there's a kid in his class named Anthony.
Okay.
I don't know why, but Anthony always makes me laugh because the kid's like Anthony and he's like, okay, Anthony. And he's like, no, it's Anthony. And John Lovitz's face just going like, Anthony?
John Lovitz doing anything makes me laugh.
John Lovitz.
He's just one of those
God
guys like, anything he does is great. And everything he says is hilarious.
Yeah, he's a funny dude. Harold and Kumar movies I love, which is funny because I rarely like weed movies.
Yeah, you're a meth guy, but
yeah. Well, we're not talking about personal real life preferences. We're talking about movies.
Yeah. Bath salts.
Yeah, I usually don't like weed humor, but for some reason, I get, not for some reason, it's their chemistry.
Yeah.
They're just really great together, and all the Neil Patrick Harris stuff, like it's gold.
Yeah.
Point Break, Again, though, not bad movie, I don't think.
No, it's just kind of
Catherine-
cheesy. It's
but
like,
it is cheesy.
yeah.
It's over the top. Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man.
Oh, right.
With, Mickey Rourke and
Don Johnson?
Don Johnson.
Yeah.
Terrible movie. Really great. Cocktail with Tom Cruise.
Oh my God.
Love that movie, and it's horrible,
wow.
but great music, and it's Tom. Come on. Tom Cruise. And then
Tom Cruise
one
is
that I wrote down, and I'm like, is it bad? Is Roadhouse bad?
You know what's funny? I was looking at lists of like 10 or 20 worst movies or whatever, and
Yeah.
Roadhouse was always on the list.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it's really good.
They just remade that. I don't remember who's in it though. They did. Oh, Gyllenhaal.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
then
it's not,
I'm in.
it hasn't been out
Conor
yet. But
McGregor.
No.
Yeah.
What? Oh, really?
yeah.
Crazy.
I'm
But
curious.
Gyllenhaal's in it, so
Very
I'll
curious.
see it.
Yeah.
I'm a real big
But,
Gyllenhaal head.
But yeah, Roadhouse is thoroughly entertaining every single second of it. And Swayze is at his Swayze best in the
Nice.
whole thing. And Sam Elliott, come on.
Oh yeah.
Sam Elliott brushes his hair to the side, and I'm like, well, it's nothing wrong with being attracted to a man, even as a straight man.
I mean, it's Sam Elliott. That guy just
Sam
like
Elliott,
exudes masmasculinity.
Yeah, yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah. If
So,
Sam Elliott doesn't give you a boner, you have no heart. I'm sorry.
I know. So Roadhouse is a classic. Replacement Killers,
Oh shit.
classic.
Right.
The Shadow with Alec Baldwin.
Oh my god.
Bombed, but I loved it.
It's that's a very that's like right up there with the fucking shadow. Or no, you just said the Shadow. What's that one with Billy Zane? The Phantom.
Phantom? No, come on.
I've
There's
never
no-
watched it.
There's
'cause-
nothing enjoyable about The Phantom. It's terrible. But The Shadow is great, and Alec Baldwin's great in it, and the action's great.
Yeah, it was kind of neat and
Yeah,
like
it has a neat look.
kind of. I think that was a little bit before its time too, in a way.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also I think one of the movies that effectively captured 40s serials
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, it really it felt
uh,
good like that.
Yeah. It felt good.
It felt good like that. It just felt good. Like a nice sweater from the dryer. It just felt good.
I always thought, even in scenes that Chuck Norris is shirtless, he's still wearing a sweater.
That's one hairy bitch.
Anyway, on that note, folks, thanks for joining us again. We do love these bad movies, and definitely make sure you let us know what your favorite bad movies are on social media. And hey,
Think outside the bun and ramble on.
we'll
What?
see. Well,
That's our call sign. Just think outside the bun, guys. Ramble on.
accurate.
Yeah.
Good job, Lee. We'll see you next time, folks.
Bye. We love you.
Thanks for listening to The Real Ramblers. Follow us on Instagram at Real Ramblers. That's REEL Ramblers. And you can follow Lee at Lee Howard _art and Bill at JustTheBill1138.